Hello, welcome back. This is Disha Shah and I create videos on how to make, save and invest money. If you're new to my channel and looking for some more hardcore financial videos, then check out the floating I and the description below. I'll leave some of my playlists that I've done on the stock market, mutual funds and cryptocurrency. But for this video, we're doing something interesting. So on my Instagram, I did an Ask Me Anything box and I wanted a more permanent space to kind of keep these answers, and so I decided to make it into a long form YouTube video. I thought it would be fun to give it a twist and play the whole angle of 20 questions. So I've picked 20 questions from my Ask Me Anything. They kind of talk a little bit about myself, a little bit about my financial or more like money decisions, and I just thought it was a fun way to start. So let's start 20 questions. I will be looking up my screen here. I have my laptop here to get the questions that I've chosen. The first question is, are you a non-Tamilian living in Chennai? Yes, I am a Gujarati, but I was born in Bangalore, brought up in Chennai. My family's been in the south for a couple of generations. So we've been here around 50 to 70 years. So my family identifies more honestly as South Indian than North Indian in terms of our lifestyle, our food choices, just the way we think. I think we're more South Indians than North Indians. We all also absolutely love the South, and I mean the proof of it is like right here. I have a tattoo in Tamil. It's a Sanskrit word nirvana, but it's Tamil script because I like traveling a lot and I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of it in the future, and I wanted something that depicted home for me, and the Tamil script does that. So that's your answer. I'm a non-Tamilian living in Chennai who's in love with Chennai. So Chennai is home. Second question, what did you study? I studied I don't know why there was such a long pause. There's nothing dramatic. I did computer science engineering from SRM University in Chennai. I graduated this year. That's what I studied. Did I like it? Did I love it? How did I do? Questions for another day. What does Moolah mean? Moolah means money. It's the slang term for money. I honestly thought it was a lot more common before I made it my channel name. But the minute when I was thinking of creating the YouTube channel and the Instagram page, I think when I thought about Moolah, it just stuck. And it's a very irrationally stubborn decision, but I've always known that Moolah just kind of fit. In my head, it means young money, which is what I was experiencing and which is what I talk about in most of my videos. So Moolah is slang for money. Now my Instagram handle makes sense, right? Because it's Moolah for you. Plug in to go follow me, but it's money for you. Okay. Do you budget? I do. There are different kinds of budgeting. I don't budget in detail, which means I don't budget every single spend. So if I eat out today or if I go out and spend on something, I don't like budgeting like that. It actually makes me a bit anxious. What I do budget it for other big savings and investing in expensive goals. So I make sure that all my savings and investments happen in the first week of the month. So I know the rest of the money that I have is for me to spend. And then I don't kind of overcalculate it that much on whether I should spend this much in food or this much in entertainment. I kind of just go with the flow and see what works best for the time. This way I'm never disrupting my saving or investing goals because that's done in the beginning of the month. And this is the kind of budgeting style that works for me. And I've tried the detailed budgeting, journaling situation, and that kind of didn't help me. So I think with budgeting, I would definitely say it's to each his own. What works for you might not work for me, and what works for me might not work for you. But this is something that's been working for me. So I wouldn't say I budget every day, but I budget when there are goals to be planned for or any kind of system to be set in place. That makes sense. What was your first investment and where? My first investment was in mutual funds. I don't remember which mutual fund, but I will leave the name for it right here. I invested it in 6 months before I made any more investments because I simply used it to kind of get used to investing. Like I set up an SIP and I was investing 2,000 every month, and I was starting to learn the terminologies and stuff like that. So yeah, mutual funds was my first investment. If any of you are first-time investors, I would recommend starting with your mutual funds, only because I thought it was much easier to start with, to learn about. And so I will leave my whole playlist of mutual funds from documentation till your first investment in the floating I and in the description box. So make sure you check that. In what avenues do you currently invest? I currently invest in the stock market by buying and selling single stocks, in mutual funds, in digital gold, in cryptocurrency, and in employee provident fund. Question number 7, how do you feel about your money mistakes? Honestly, every time I make a money mistake, I'm actually glad, because that's a sign that I'm trying different things. The minute I'm not making mistakes, I know that I've stopped growing in my personal finance journey and I'm not trying out enough things, especially with the finance industry and the fintech space, finance and technology. There are so many different tools coming out. There are so many different avenues of investing, methods of investing, different algorithms for making better investments that suit your lifestyle. There's just so much up and coming constantly, and I don't think it's fair for me to expect myself to not make any money mistakes. I don't feel bad when I make a money mistake at all. I also acknowledge that I come from a privileged background where I can afford to make a lot of money mistakes, also given that I'm quite young and there are not too many financial liabilities on me, like a partner to support or kids or stuff like that. And so I also want to take the most advantage of this period and make as many money mistakes as I can, because later in the future they'll probably cost me a lot more than they cost me right now. So fail fast as much as you want to. So that's what I feel about my money mistakes. Is content creation your full-time job? No, it is not my full-time job. I have a full-time job in a fintech space. I feel like I want to reveal where I work and what I do in another video maybe. Very soon, but in some time. But I have a full-time job. I work in a fintech company as in the product space. Why did you start this channel? There's a whole long story, but I think since it's 20 questions and I want to keep it short, I started this channel because I wanted to normalize more young girls talking about money, who don't come from financial backgrounds, formal financial backgrounds. I did science in school, computer science in college, and I was able to invest. I was able to invest in so many different avenues. And so this channel is a way of me trying to normalize it for girls to know that they can invest and they should ask questions and they should participate in the whole investing space. And I think it's important because if women and girls don't see people who look like them, who sound like them, talk about money, then they're never going to know that they should be talking about money, which is why I started my YouTube and Instagram page, because I wanted more girls to see that this is a topic that's very important even for their lives, not just their counterparts. And so I've created the space. What is Ashoka Young Changemaker? So if you notice on my Instagram, it says Ashoka Young Changemaker. People all the time confuse this for Ashoka University. It's not. I'm not an Ashoka University student. Ashoka is a not-for-profit global organization that promotes social entrepreneurship. It was founded in 1980 and exists in over 90 countries. They have many different programs. One of their programs is called Ashoka Young Changemaker. Ashoka Young Changemaker is a global network of really powerful young social entrepreneurs who in some way either created their own organization or led peer-led teams where they've believe in a social cause and have worked towards it in some way. I was part of the 2019 cohort of the Ashoka Young Changemaker program. I was selected for the work that I did in increasing women's financial literacy through my startup Inner Goddess. I was one of the 10 people who got selected. Every year they take in applications for young social entrepreneurs who would benefit from accessing a community like Ashoka, which is so global and so powerful. It really kind of puts you on the map. It gives you the resources and the network you need in order to move your organization forward, to build a larger community and kind of just accelerate your impact. And so that is Ashoka Young Changemaker. And that's what I mean when I say I'm an Ashoka Young Changemaker. Okay, question number 11. We're moving on to slightly lighter questions. One thing you dislike about stepping out. I absolutely hate wearing a bra. It is frustrating, it is restrictive, it is not comfortable, and I hate that I have to put it on only because society has told me to. I don't see a beneficial reason for it. I don't see why I should be doing it, but I have to every time I step out. And I honestly, it's such a annoying thing for me. So I hate it. I said it. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? I'm an introvert with really good social skills. So you will probably not be able to tell if you meet me in a social situation that I am an introvert, but I am definitely an introvert. Like, the more I grow up, the more I realize how much of an introvert I am. I think when I was a bit younger, I wasn't giving myself enough space to recognize that. But now that I'm growing older, I can tell that I'm an introvert. A pet peeve, bad table manners, chewing loudly, not eating properly, being rude to your waiter, just overall table manners. I think it's one of my biggest pet peeves. My favorite book is by Tara Westover. The book is an excellent example of what the absence of education can do and what the presence of it can do. And it's captured so well. It is a real life story. It is the most inspiring, thought provoking book. And the way it's written is just, I cannot describe it. I wish I could describe it better. I honestly wish I could. But I don't think I will read a book ever that will replace this as my favorite book. Top notch, my favorite. I will leave the cover somewhere here. Make sure you give it a try. Have you ever danced in the rain? Yes, the answer is yes. This is something that my mom had brought in as a ritual. So in my family, every time it rained in Chennai, the first rain, me and my brother had to compulsorily go out and get wet. It was like a ritual. So as soon as it rained, I remember we'd come back from school and we'd quickly strip into our like rain clothes and we'd be out in the garden, my brother and I, and like maybe a neighbor. And once or twice when we did that, all our neighbors in the apartment saw us and they would start joining us. So it would be like literally like a children's dance party. And it was the best. Like, dancing in the rain as a kid has been probably one of the best memories ever. So yes, I love dancing in the rain. I love the rain. And yeah, it's just, I'm so nostalgic right now. Mountains or beach? I'm a beach girl, beach bum, any day, every day. Mountains, cold and altitude really makes me uncomfortable. So I really still admire and can acknowledge the beauty of the mountains. But if I had to settle down, stay for a longer period of time, and some place that I crave, it would definitely be the beach. I don't crave to be in the mountains, but I crave to be in the beach. At the beach. Do you know how to drive? Yes, I know how to drive. I learned it this year, which is why I also included. I'm very proud of the fact that I can drive now. It's something that I've seen my sisters do, and every time I was young and I saw them drive in their car, play their own music, they would have their yoga mat or something behind, and it just felt so independent, and I always grew up wanting to have that for myself. And now that I can drive, it's a great feeling. So yeah, I can drive. My favorite breakfast dish, hands down South Indian food, but something that I really enjoy is having spaghetti in the morning for breakfast. There's just something about pasta in the morning that I wish was more normalized. But yeah, if I had to pick something that's more normal, then idli or dosa or idiyappam and kurma, but otherwise spaghetti. Yoga or gym? Hands down yoga, but I've also started appreciating the gym because I think my brother is helping me learn. This is what I really feel, okay? If you're trying out something new and you learn it from someone who really loves it, there is a higher chance that you will also enjoy it and love it because they will teach it or they will make you experience it in the same way. And that's what happened. I think when I first went to the gym, I just kind of went and did something by myself. And I was doing it with people who weren't a fan of it, but were just there for a particular goal. And so I didn't enjoy it. But my brother genuinely goes to the gym because he likes the feel of it. He'll play his music. Like, it's a whole thing. And so I would still pick yoga, but I'm not that averse to gym now. Okay, last question. Why do you say the highest in me recognizes the highest in you? This is something that I picked from a yogi in one of the YouTube videos. They said when they started the class, and I just felt so welcomed, especially when it comes to YouTube and looking at a screen. We're trying to make a dialogue here as content creators, and it's sometimes hard to kind of reach into the screen and say, hello, this is for you, particularly you who are watching. And the highest in me recognizes the highest in you, I think, was the most amazing way to capture an invitation to someone, especially for a topic like money. No matter what happens, I still identify the highest person that still is in you and will always be in you. And I recognize that from the highest person in me. I don't know if I explained that well, but that's where I got it from, and I use it because I think it is my way of inviting each and every one of you who are watching to kind of connect with me on that level. Yeah. And that concludes the 20 questions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you stuck with me till the end, if you learned new things about me, then the highest in me recognizes the highest in you. Make sure to like this video, leave some cute comments down for me. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to this growing community, and I will see you in my next video.